I've only delved into this movie about once before, unless you count these 3 videos, but upon rewatching it again, I thought about something that, well, I don't know if you could call it outright meta, but it's strange and cool nonetheless. And it may not be as mind-blowing as my recent Incredibles theory or my Ratatouille theory, but it still makes an epic amount of logical sense. Hello, I'm the Theorizer, and this is a good Pixar movie. I love its style and whatnot, but it also has a lot of mysteries. I'm sure most people figured it out, but have you ever wondered why the core memories turn blue when sadness gets near them? Well, when I tried looking for more explanations on this, I figured out something quite meta about this movie, which proves that all of the hazards Joy and Sadness encounter aren't just hazards. They are strategic obstacles put there by Riley's brain in order to let Joy discover Sadness's true purpose. To prove this, let's start with the obvious. All throughout the movie, Joy is dominant and ruthless, which causes everything to go haywire in Riley's mind. Joy's obsession with the core memories sent her and Sadness up the tube. This is the first sort of obstacle which they encounter. You see, Riley needs to be sad. A massive event like moving across the country is very hard for her, and the fact that she can't feel sadness like she needs to drives her to insanity. Her brain is trying to turn literally every memory blue to compensate for Sadness's absence at the wheel. This whole event with the tube was quite unfortunate, and I personally think that the brain intentionally did it to remove Joy from headquarters. Notice how the blue memory won't eject when Joy pushes the button, but then, right when all of the core memories spill, the tube finally comes down. Why does it come down right when the core memories have all spilled out? Because it needs to eject them out of headquarters and start fresh with the help of Sadness. And this is the sparking event for a trip that results in the need for sadness. My theory is that the brain is doing all of this to correct itself, to teach itself how to be sad. That Riley's brain is creating all of these obstacles they encounter so that in the end, Joy will figure out the need for sadness. Clearly, all of the things like this tube breaking and the train of thought crashing are all just obstacles provided by the movie, conflict to fuel the story, but based off of all of the things Riley's brain already does trying to achieve being sad, it's not at all far-fetched to presume that it would create these obstacles and present such bizarre situations for Joy. Here's something I doubt you noticed before. Every single thing that happens in this movie that prevents them from returning to headquarters is so coincidental. They try to take the balance beam back to headquarters, but at that exact moment, Riley shuns her father, no thanks to anger, and the beam shatters. Later, they finally get on the train of thought, and it suddenly crashes no thanks to Riley's theft. She's literally losing her train of thought with this ridiculous idea, but that's not the point. The point is, it all happened coincidentally right as they were about to get back to headquarters. And hold on, think about that weird scene with abstract thought as well. They happen to go in there right as the workers turn it on. Bing Bong says that it's never turned on with him inside before, but how coincidental that it happens now, right when Joy enters it. This is not convenience. This is strategic planning by the very brain itself, making these people move around and do their usual things. These convenient obstacles are put in place for Joy. She is ruthless and megalomaniacal. She's a little ball of manic psychosis. She needed to learn the value of the other emotions, and the only way to do that was via the memory dump, a place which almost every single obstacle has attempted to send her. The balancing act was above the pit, the train of thought nearly crashed into the pit, and when her largest betrayal and most selfish move, the recall tube incident, happened, the biggest punishment occurred, being temporarily forgotten. And this led to Joy discovering the need for sadness. Notice how pretty much every single thing that happens in this movie is easy. There's a quick, easy ride up to headquarters or a simple tube they could go through, but at the most specifically precise moments, something bad happens and causes them to flop. Not until Joy falls super far and learns the requirement of sadness does the single most unrealistic thing in history happen, creating a sculpture of WTF and falling onto a trampoline. Everything else in this movie is unrealistically unfortunate, and then this is unrealistically fortunate. And the brain can do these things. It doesn't need to follow the laws of physics. But the fact that this works and this doesn't makes it all too suspicious. Joy actually needed to feel sad for the brain to function how she wants. And once Joy has gone sad, everything was a success. The lesson was learned. Want proof that the brain is forcing itself to create these obstacles? That it's forcing itself to be sad? All of the memories turn blue for one. Sadness feels oddly compelled to touch the memories for another, and the controlling board literally turns Rile into an emo when sadness doesn't occur. Just imagine how you'd feel if you needed to be sad, but it simply didn't work. Rile's mental breakdown was because she felt compelled to cry, but couldn't because sadness wasn't at the wheel. Needing to cry but not being able to, that would drive anyone to insanity. Maybe Outside In has more truth to it than meets the eye. Maybe all of this was obvious, you say. I would sort of deny that, but sort of agree with it. But what you have to accept is that it's an interesting idea, that Rile's brain is correcting itself by punishing the emotions. Without sadness or her train of thought, Rile's sky went gray and the apathy took over the control board. So yeah, this is just a little something I devised when watching the movie for the umpteenth time, and I figured I'd share it with you guys, so boom! Until the next video, I'm the Theorizing Theorizer, who formulates theories on theorizable media, which tends to have less theories on those specific places of media, so I increase the theorizability standards for both myself and other theorists on movies with less theories than the usual theorizing standard for theorizable media.